Hey guys, I'm Tiger with Pacific Rim Video, and we're with Nadine. She has a film called I Can, I Will, I Did. So, Nadine, please tell us about this film. I know it involves martial arts, is that correct?
It does. It involves Taekwondo. It's a film about a depressed foster youth who gets bullied, and he gets bullied to the brink of almost death. He ends up in a hospital, and he doesn't want to help his own recovery because he's just at such a low spirit. And he is basically confronted with, what do I do? Do I sit here like almost, can you please help me? I don't do anything about my life, or I could get up and start learning how to walk again. And somebody helps him with that. So it's a girl that he meets there, and the girl's grandfather, who is a Taekwondo master, who then teaches him step by step how to find his balance again, how to get back up on his 2 feet, how to stand up straight and be proud, and very slowly the recovery process and the healing process begins.
Well, behind every good man is a great woman. I got my start in martial arts because a girl kicked my ass, so there you go. Well, let me ask, so as this movie, it involves martial arts, but it's not necessarily a martial arts film, is that correct?
I mean, it involves martial arts, and there are a lot of scenes that are martial arts. The Taekwondo master does teach him, but it's not your typical martial arts film. So it's not very flashy. There's no fancy cutting. It's a film about a beginning martial artist finding his bearings. So while there are black belts in the film, but it's not a story about the black belts. It's a story about the beginning steps of finding that balance and and figuring out what it takes to be a martial artist. And then you'll learn also that it's not really about the movements; it's about the lessons that can be instilled in the mind and in the heart.
Definitely a very relatable story for anybody involved in martial arts or even not. But one thing I was wondering was, in the process of this film, so it's semi-based on a true story, is this correct?
Correct, yes. So the Grandmaster does exist. It's his students who really wanted to put his teachings onto the screen. And then the stories that were told to me by the Grandmaster as well as his students are kind of a composite of this story that we now have on screen. So it's based on several accounts of students there.
Very cool. Can you tell us a little bit about the process in which you made the film? Because I noticed just from the cast, it's a very impressive cast of seasoned actors. Well, isn't one on Broadway now? Is that correct? Wow. So for a short film like this, I'm sorry, a feature-length film. How did you get all these people involved? Is it through martial arts, or was it just right connections? How did that work?
So actually, it's a combination. We did audition a lot of martial artists that came through the doors of that Grandmaster, but the role is such it's a very emotionally heavy role that we needed a very capable actor who's seasoned. So that was it was an audition process. We had a casting director, and we needed an actor who's very, very good, but also can embrace the physicalities of the role as well. So it can't be somebody that's very uncomfortable kicking and moving through space. So we were looking for somebody very, very specific for that main role. And then the granddaughters will, that's an Asian American role. It's Korean American, actually. I needed a gal that, to me, screamed strength, because the role of the girl actually, she actually is a wheelchair user, and she's Asian, but I didn't want to victimize her. I wanted somebody who communicated strength and power and spirit. So that was also a big aspect of the casting process and the audition process that we went through. And then we cast Selene Sleva, who is on Orange is the New Black. Yeah, we just sent her the script, and she actually is, she just connected to the script, really. Her mother was a foster mother, and so she actually plays a foster mother in our film. So yeah, this is a combination of reaching out through the various channels that we have, as well as casting in the audition room.
And one thing that I'd like to ask you about is, so for the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival, a lot of them are Asian Americans. Obviously, we're in Los Angeles, not exclusively, but you're from Germany. Is this correct? And as an Asian from Germany, now that you're in the States, how has that been an issue? Has it been a struggle, or has it really opened doors for you?
Well, I came here when I was 16, and I definitely had my growing pains as a teenage immigrant who's Asian, coming from Europe. Definitely had my growing pains, as well as some language barriers, even though I learned English when I was little, but it's very different when you are thrust into a country that speaks English as its first language. So I think that took me a few years, but it has been 20 years now since I've immigrated here. So that in itself has not been holding me back from my career trajectory. As a matter of fact, it might help me a little bit with my my world perspective. My parents still live in Germany. My brother lives in Amsterdam. I live here. My sister lives in Pittsburgh. So we're very spread out all over. We're very traditional Vietnamese family post-war, Vietnam War. So we're all over the place. My extended family is all over the place as well. So it's made for a rich storytelling perspective for me, if anything.
It draws from the whole world, and I think that's what is amazing about this film. Not with just the relatable stories, whether you're in martial arts or not, but having that world perspective seems like it really will help relate with the audience. And so wrapping up here, where can we find this film outside of the festival, on social media? What's next for you, Nadine?
Well, we're just starting our festival run, so tonight we are world premiering at this festival. Then, and then we're moving on to several other festivals on the East Coast, across the nation, really. So once we do that, then we'll have an online release at some point. Yeah.
On social media, where can we find you?
We are at I Can, I Will, I Did the movie on Facebook, and then the handle on Instagram is ICIWID_film, I think. Yeah.
Nadine, thank you so much for your time. Are you a black belt?
I am not. I am not a martial artist. I actually, I'm a yoga and meditation practitioner, so I could relate to the story, but I'm not a martial artist.
So you can heal everybody after the tough day on set, right? Well, thank you so much, Nadine. Have a great one. Thank you. A Dakashane, maybe I should say, right? I don't know.